Yes! Yes! Atalanta defeats a Premier League club. Unlike Inter, Atalanta defeats a Premier League club after losing to 28th place Hellas Verona in Syria. Proves which is the superior league. Ha 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 ha. What a win, what a win. This manager will lead us to future trophies. If the mentality of the players improves, there is no way on hell that we are not going to win trophies in the future. No fucking way on hell we are not going to win trophies in the future. If we bringing players who has the belonging to the club, who has not proved anything, who has everything to prove, and players who has the mentality to perform in big games, to perform in every game, to know that what is the good for the team, even in small games. If we get those kind of players, we will absolutely batter every other team with this manager. Raffaele Palladino, his tactical substitutions, his perseverance, everything was absolutely perfect. And that's why I didn't list him in the problems, in the list of problems I mentioned in the last game. Because the faults of Atalanta, the bad form of Atalanta this season was not because of him. It is because of that bastard Tony D'Amico and this poor squad planning, to some extent Juric, but even the fault is not his. And that Parkasi, who is skipping Tony D'Amico at the club and not investing enough, investing on scrubs and useless players, etc. etc. And the fragile mentality of some of the players. Even yesterday in the first half, Ederson, his mind is in fucking Manchester United. I am pretty fucking sure of that. His mind is in Manchester United. He wants to join Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, etc. So he was not here. But still, probably Palladino winded him up. He reminded him of what he is. It was a much better second half from the pivot. Dirun finally rolled the years back and put out a solid performance. The thing is that the pivot was getting overrun by the Chelsea midfield, and in an absolutely unfathomable fashion. We were not playing football in the first half. Still, we played better than Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. The defenders were absolutely wonderful and fantastic. Sead Kolasinac, he brought the leadership back to the team. We missed him in the 6 months he went out with an ACL injury. In those 6 months, we haven't won much games, only because we missed his leadership on the pitch. He came back, and now see our form improved. That's the thing with leaders. That's the thing with players who has a belonging to the club. That's the thing with players who has the mentality to win trophies. Sead Kolasinac has won like 4 or 5 trophies with Arsenal and Schalke. He has won 1 trophy with Atalanta. Probably one with Marseille too, I don't know. That's the thing. If you win trophies, you will have the mentality. You will grow the mentality. And that's what Atalanta needs right now. We don't need fragile-minded players who chicken out once they see any adversities. We need players who wants to rise up to the challenge. Also, about Chelsea, getting absolutely dominated by the 12th place in Syria is definitely a choice. It was a choice they made, and that choice backfired. They were absolutely battered, dominated in the first and the second half. Of all the teams we have played in the Champions League, PSG, Marseille, Frankfurt, etc., etc., Chelsea played the worst of them. At least Marseille gave us a little bit of fight. Frankfurt also in the first half they played good. But yeah, Chelsea, with all the star name they have, with the tag of the world champions, and by beating Barcelona 2 weeks ago, I think they were the ones that were complacent and had a bad mentality last game. Because they thought that Atalanta won't cause any problems. The thing is that Atalanta has good individual players who can shine in individual moments. But we have not been collectively doing it for a long time. That's the problem. That's why we are 12th in Syria. But we are 3rd in Syria because we don't need enough extra motivation to perform in Champions League. Champions League is everyone's dream. Everyone wants to play in Champions League. It is enough motivation. It is enough motivation to perform. That's why the individual moments keep coming in the Champions League. And I hope With 3 more points, we seal the top 8, avoid the 2 playoff games to focus on the league at that time and focus on the cup if possible. Because yeah, the only avenue for a trophy this year is by the cup, and it's a very winnable cup. The top teams are absolutely shit. The best top team in Syria, the top of the table, Syria, Milan, AC Milan is out of the cup already. Just I think Napoli also don't get the cup at all. They will chicken out. They will get out in the quarter final with Conte. He will only try to play the league. They also get knocked out from the Champions League early, and he will only try to play the league. So this cup is winnable, and if we win the cup, it will only be a successful season. Otherwise, the start, this season endured. The Atalanta fans endured the start. It will not go out. It will not vanish. We will just cap Europe. I don't know if we would, but yeah, that's the thing. We are playing like an absolute mid-table club in the league, but in the Champions League, it is much better. About individual players, I think Lookman, the front three all were good. Lookman, CDK, Skamaka. The defense was also good. The pivot, I think, I have said it before, it needs polishing. Barnasconi wasn't individually good, but he gave the balance in the team. The left-footed wing back for a right-footed winger. The good balance of the team ensured that Lookman got a lot of space to counter, especially from the long balls of CDK. And that's the thing. The balance is also important. Not only individual quality is important. You will have to put the best players in the best positions, but you will have to put the players that provide the most balance in the best positions. That was Judy's slack, and that's why I think Palladino is absolutely correct in this sense. So yeah, let's see. Our next game against Cagliari and Genoa. Both winnable games. It is time to make some momentum in the league.